This podcast is brought to you by the Podtower, hosted by the Watchtower database. Visit youtube.com/thepodtower for informative, hilarious DC animation-themed podcasts and live streams every week. And check out the Watchtower database for DCAU video essays, timelines, fan theories, and more. And please, enjoy the show.
Three, two, one.
I feel like Dylan clapped on one, maybe, but it's okay.
I thought there'd be a delay. I don't know. You know what?
No.
I feel like you don't know, Jamie.
It'll work, I think.
This is why I need to be in here every week so that I can get more in sync on these claps.
I know. That's true.
We need to iron out the whole
Exactly.
everything here.
You have been in here every week. What are you talking about?
Actually, Dylan, what if the two of us just focus on our rehearsals and we don't include Jamie?
Yeah, well, that sounds fine.
Oh, you practiced for this? You could have fooled me. Dylan Pollack is in the house.
Hey, check it out. Dylan Pollack is in the house.
What up, y'all? I don't know how to greet.
What up, y'all? It's
Just
Dylan
great.
Pollack.
Let's get wiggity real. I don't know. Is that what the kids say? I don't know.
How many episodes of Batman do you think we have left, Brian?
85.
Oh, what? That's nope. It's 2 actually.
Oh, my heart.
You wish it was 85. Now, see, when we started this, you were so like, oh
Ready
my
for
god,
Batman to be over?
Oh my god, there's so many episodes. Now,
And
we're
then
at
there
the
was a
end.
moment where I was like, oh, I don't want Batman to be over, but it'll
Yeah.
be good to see Superman. And now I'm at the point where I'm like, oh no, what is next?
Yeah, you're like in this weird zone of now you can't comprehend that Batman is coming to a close. You want to go back in time to when it started. Let's watch the
Jamie-
Sewer King again.
Maybe not that. So you have the brain for this sort of thing. Do
Do
you
I?
know? Yes, you do.
Okay.
And Dylan knows it too. Do you know the day and year that we started Batman?
I'm pretty sure it was June 2021, but that might have been when we recorded, though. Let me just see what the actual, because we might have already passed the 2-year anniversary and not even said a fucking thing about it.
With all these
here.
breaks, guys, I mean, it might be the 3-year anniversary. I don't know.
That's very true.
Blame James's overambitious
Oh my God.
videos. Okay,
I know he's so committed to quality on his YouTube channel that he can't just keep grinding out podcasts. I grind out podcasts
What a
every
jerk.
week, no matter how
To
shitty
make
they are.
such July 30th, 2021.
Oh,
So when this comes out, it'll be 2 days before the 2-year anniversary. Let's just count this as the 2-year anniversary of Jump on the Bat. We got Dylan Pollack.
As it should be.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I'm so happy that you're here to celebrate our anniversary with us.
That we
I
knew
mean,
about.
It's your
listener.
anniversary too.
I've been the listener in every episode, and you know what? It's been a lot to watch you guys grow. It has.
We're so glad that we get all your views of this.
I do feel like, okay, how do I say this without sounding too corny and cheesy?
I don't know.
I don't know either, but I'm just going to say it anyway. Like, Dylan, I do feel like you've been here from the beginning. Like, I think you were, when we started reading comments, like you were in the first batch, correct?
I think it was just the right timing.
Yeah, I'm going to look. I was just about to check if you were in the comments of episode 1 while I was in episode 1 here. Let's see.
am.
Oh, wow. Banana Man said okay on episode 1. God damn.
Okay.
That's pretty good. That's pretty cool.
I'm waiting for Pineapple Man, actually.
I know, yeah.
Pineapple, apple, pen.
Yeah.
Now that you bring up these
Oh my
fruits, can I
God.
actually ask you guys a question? Because we were having an argument in my household earlier.
Yeah, I mean, questions are James's favorite part anyway.
I forgot. You're getting an early question. Is Minute Maid fruit punch juice?
I thought you were just going to stop at his Minute Maid fruit punch. No, I mean, does it say any percentage of juice on the outside of the container?
No more need be said. I am going to shove this in my wife's face on Friday.
Giselle, you think
I'm
it's
so sorry.
juice?
Yeah, it's
What?
definitely juice. It's at least 100% juice, maybe 200%.
For 200%
yeah.
kids.
Yoo-hoo's not chocolate milk either,
man.
people. Get past it.
No, it's Yoo-hoo on the side. I drank a lot of Yoo-hoo in my youth. Yoo-hoo on the side of the container says chocolate
Flavored beverage.
Chocolate drink.
Yeah,
I had no idea for years. I was like, oh my God, this isn't milk?
Yeah, it's probably some sort of powder in water or whatever. Like it's chocolate milk flavoring.
Anyway, welcome back
milk.
to Jump on the Bat-Wagon,
Thanks,
the podcast
James.
where we show...
Dylan, do it.
Oh, Dylan, do it.
Welcome to Jump on the Bat-Wagon, the podcast where we play the entire DCAU, where we
should
show the
play it,
entire DCAU to Brian, who's never seen any of the DCAU, in the controversial airdate order as it was seen by the children of the 90s.
So you've heard this 84 times and you're like, yeah, close enough.
To be fair, I couldn't do it, and I'm definitely here for all of them.
I do have it in front of me every time because I think it has changed slightly like 4 or 5 times, so whatever.
Yeah, you say the far and gone days of the
1900s.
We're just
we
showing some
recommend you
Irish
watch
brogues.
today's DCAU episode before listening to this podcast. Brian hates my accent so much.
Commit. I don't. I love it. Just in Case is one of my favorite characters of all time.
You like that, but which stay tuned for virality coming in.
Irish brogue. Go.
I can't make you do that, but I can make Brian do that. See, it's terrible. I can only do certain ones okay, all right?
It depends on where you're in Ireland you're talking about your accent coming from.
At the time of this recording,
I'm not attempting
Batman
any
the
accents.
Animated Series is streaming on Max and available on DVD and Blu-ray. Spunky! Today we're watching A Bullet for Bullock is the episode that we're watching today.
I'm scared.
Yeah, I know. You don't like the title at all. This was the 67th produced episode between Sideshow and Trial. It was a while back. And aired 84. We'll talk a little bit about that in Trivs.
Of course we will.
Yeah, it aired Wednesday, September 14th, 1995 at 4 p.m. on Fox Adults. This was written by Michael Reeves, who also wrote Vendetta, I Am the Night, Avatar, and Batgirl Returns, as well as the story credit on a few others. Directed by Frank Parr. Note that we found out his name's pronounced like that, and I can't. It just sounds so easy.
Just put a couple more syllables in it.
Notably, I've got Batman in my basement, the Cape and Cowl Conspiracy, the Underdwellers, Twiger, Shadow of the Bat, and the Terrible Trio. Music is by Harvey R. Cohen. He had an R this time.
Leonard
Maybe
Cohen's cousin or whatever I said.
Yeah, whatever
2,000
you say,
episodes ago.
2,000 episodes in a row. He did 22 previous episodes. That's how many times you've said that joke.
I'm pretty sure I said it 25 times, actually.
Yeah. Animation by Studio Junio, who did The Underdwellers, Dreams in Darkness, Mudslide, Blind as a Bat, Avatar, and Baby Doll. Not one of our favorites.
What are they doing here?
Yeah, can you get out of the Bullet episode, please?
Dylan, why?
I just keep thinking that we need to find out, is this episode good, bad, or Frank perfect?
Oh my God.
Wow.
I'm here for the bad
The
things.
new rating.
How long did you work on that for?
I'm going to be honest. I've just been waiting for you guys to let me say that. I'm like, oh, don't interrupt them to say that, Dylan.
Interrupt. Always
the new
interrupt.
rating system. What's the opposite of perfect? Is it like, okay, I'm going to be real here. We were about to interview Frank Parr last night, and then we had to cancel because my kid was throwing up all over the place. He is like the director behind some of the worst episodes of this show, and not by any like necessary fault of his own. Like, he gets the shittiest animation studios. He gets like the dullest stories that always have to do with like, make sure you recycle and shit like that. Like, there's just a bunch of stuff that he was dealing with. We've had some quotes from him talking about like, fuck, the planetarium sequence at the end of Prophecy of Doom was supposed to be so cool and it sucked ass. Like, all this stuff.
Even though he is Frank perfect, his episodes tend to be Kevin Altierable.
Oh my
Oh
God.
my God. Yes! Yes!
Thank you.
Well, guys, that's the show.
Yeah, see you next time. It's not going to get any better than that. Yeah. We're going to go watch a Bullet for Bullock now, and we'll come back and talk about it. So, should we? Yes?
Yes.
Let's do it.
Okay.
8 years I waited to do this, Bullock. Now it's payback time.
Okay, so is it Angelo Badalamenti that did the orchestration on that one scene, or what?
On every scene, almost, yeah.
Not every scene, but there's that one that was like bordering on free jazz,
The
and I'm
fight
like,
scene, yeah.
like I've heard, like Angelo Badalamenti is the guy who did all the composing for David Lynch's everything.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
He's
you
amazing.
brought him up a couple times on the podcast.
He's amazing.
Yeah.
How do you remember shit like that?
I
dude?
don't know.
Anyway.
Help me.
I'll help you like
can't
Batman
stop.
helped Bullock.
Oh man, what a good segue. As Brian takes a ginormous gulp of water, it's like, James will take it from here.
James and Dylan got it. I'm just gonna sit back here and enjoy the show.
There was some goddamn music in this episode. But before we talk about any of that shit, you got to tell me what happens. Actually, should we have Dylan do it this time? Of
course we need
the
to have
guest.
Dylan do
The
it.
guest does it. So hang on. First, you have to listen to this.
Sing up, if you're wondering. Sing up, what you just watched. Sing up, take a listen to the synopsis. The short summary, which is sometimes kind of long.
My mom remixed it. She did a good job.
Sweet.
Thanks, Mom.
I just need that with that meme that's like, your music saved me.
Yes.
Shout out to Cooney Phoenix for that song, and
Yes.
also for their new adventure and moving. They're moving.
yeah.
Their family is all.
Let me just put
they're
it this
all
way.
moving.
They're moving.
Brian keeps track of all of the listener. Even you, person who's never commented. He sees you when you're sleeping. He knows when you're awake.
Eli is doing his laundry. Yeah.
I'd like to think that I've made some good friends out of this. So
We have.
Yeah.
Like Dylan, who's going to tell us right now what happened in A Bullet for Bullock.
Okay. So, we just watched it. It can't be that hard, Dylan. You got it. All right. Bullock,
Dylan, it's the hardest thing in the world. Don't let anybody. Everyone thinks that it's just like, oh man, it's so easy, obviously, and then you're like, okay, just watch it now. Tell us about it.
So easy a Dylan.
And
could
if
do
you've
it.
never seen it before, let me tell you, it's hard.
I wish I could say I've never seen it before. So Bullock is walking down the street, and we see a car coming, and in the side view mirror of the car, we see some angry eyes.
Yes, we do.
So the car comes and is like trying to take him out. He avoids it, and then he just starts shooting. So he started blasting.
Yeah, he really did. Yeah.
Basically, Bullock
Couldn't
is
have
like,
possibly just been a car that was going out of control. He's like, I better shoot it.
the car was resisting arrest. What he decides next is he needs Batman's help because he's getting a whole bunch of threats. We also find out his landlord doesn't like him because he's generally slovenly?
Both, yes.
Those were all right.
Slo-
Okay.
Slavic.
Slavic.
He's of Slavic descent, so he decides that he needs help from Batman in finding out who is doing this. So Batman helps him track down some guys, including Vinny the Shark. Turns out is running Rock Crystal.
Yes. Say my name, he said.
Unfortunately, he's going away again, so no time for Baby Shark. Basically, they think, oh, we got this all tidied up. Vinny the Shark has been taken out. Turns out it is not all tidied up. Somebody else is like, I'm going to murder you, Bullock. I'm going to murder you hard.
But who?
Batman swoops in, drop kicks the shit out of the guy, and it turns out it is the landlord. Because landlords are just the worst. That's the real moral of this.
My God.
Yeah, this is a good episode. I think we probably all agree. That's some interesting animation at times, but...
Jamie, you got to read the official synopsis.
You're right. I sure do. I know how this goes.
I know I'm right.
Mine was so spot on, there's no need.
I know, you're right.
Fair.
Someone has put a hit out on Gotham's toughest cop, Harvey Bullock. After surviving several near misses, Bullock realizes he has no choice but to ask his arch-rival Batman to help him discover who is behind the murder attempts. During their investigation, Bullock learns that his gruff and mean-spirited manner has created enemies in the unlikeliest of people. I like the word unlikeliest thrown in there. And Dylan had a good synyap. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Now you can leave now.
No. Dylan, stay. Jamie,
Yes.
you go.
Oh, yeah, that makes sense. Okay, I'll see you guys.
It's the Dylan and Broderick show.
Give me the Zoom controls, Jamie. You're done. And in your badge and your Zoom, it's over.
Google Docs. Yeah, your badge and your Zoom. Yeah, it's a good episode.
It was a surprisingly good episode.
Yeah, the music was crazy the whole time. I mean, I remembered that the music was nice and jazzy in this episode, but I didn't remember it going like fucking insane there a couple times. Like there was some
it was off the wall.
I remember it getting jazzy
player,
during that fight, but I didn't remember how jazzy it is the entire time.
Yeah.
Not in a bad way.
Yeah. Well, like for some reason, the scene I remembered being that way was up on the rooftop when they're shooting at each other.
Click.
Yeah, it's Christmas. And that's why Dylan's here, actually. This is technically a Christmas episode. That was kind of what we were working in to try to get him back on before the show was over.
Then at one point, it was every time there's like inclement weather, which really doesn't make sense.
And it was every time there was snow or something. And I was like, there's going to be an episode that I'll forget has snow. And I'm like, fuck, Dylan's supposed to be here. But
all of them.
Yeah, he's always here. You're right. Yeah. But yeah, there was some weird, like, I was looking up during the episode to see if Studio Junio ever did any Simpsons episodes, because there were some times where certain mannerisms on screen were very Simpsons-like. Like,
you mean the two hairs?
Well, yeah, there was. Well, first there was Dan
guy?
Castellaneta with sunglasses on the roof, yeah, but then there was also just Bullock's like soda bottle in his apartment. When he picks it up and drinks it, was like Homer Simpson drinking a Duff beer, like almost
yeah, just
verbatim.
the soda said Duff across.
Yeah, and they had Dunko donuts, yeah, in the middle of it.
If only we had watched this episode first, it could have been Dunko Dudes.
Oh man, yeah. The timelines are different. Yeah, this is the darkest timeline where everything's Yoppie instead of Dunko.
I'd like to think of the with that whole like Simpsons Batman crossover, that like that bit where Bullock walks into his apartment and he thinks he sees someone like pulling a gun. It's actually just cockroaches. Like to like put in like a Homer Simpson scream in that moment.
Yeah, and then back to the cockroaches. Well, it was like, I like the shadow is such a perfect, like, obviously not cockroaches, like it's some guy, and then when he turns the light on, they're just scurry away. They were in a gun shape, but then when they're on the roof later, and I just wanted that to be cockroaches too, like actually shooting a gun at him. There was the Simpsonsiness, but then there were some times where it felt very Cowboy Bebop in the animation, and that might have been influenced by the music, but there was some like on the roof with the shooting whenever they're in complete silhouette, and then he shoots and it like lights him up for a second. And there was a couple other moments in the train scene that felt very, I don't know. Sometimes it just felt very Cowboy Bebop-y. And so, I was just trying to figure out like what other things of note that Studio Junio had done.
Give us like the top 5.
Batman the Animated Series, Freakazoid, Animaniacs, Ghost in the Shell. So that might be part of it. Rurouni Kenshin, Trigun in between animation, so that might be part of it too. So that's kind of cool, actually. But yeah, no, that was and Lupin the Third. There we go. That's probably a big part of it. Yeah, so some good stuff sometimes.
Okay, so I have been watching a ton of Law and Order lately, like way too much Law and Order, and impossible to measure amount of Law and Order. It's measurable, like 12 seasons. But here's the question: we know Internal Affairs is looking into Harvey, but he's not on the take. So he definitely stole the money that was in that room when they walked in there, right? I feel like that's what we're finding out here.
He very well might have.
Harvey's doing something shady. Like he doesn't want I be looking further into him.
Like I don't do anything illegal, but sometimes I don't do everything legally. Like he's not very specific about it. Yeah.
I don't think this episode is a shining example of people doing their jobs well. Because like we've just found out that a landlord can best Batman at the like detective game.
Yeah, I suppose so.
Like Batman was only following Bullock. He's like he had no clue that it was the unprofessional criminal landlord who was shaking in his little space booth.
Well, he was looking up
out.
like people that would be out to kill Bullock, and I guess he wouldn't think his landlord
It was too
would be
obvious
on that list. Yeah,
But this is the thing. Like Batman, like the world's best detective, his only means of detecting was a physical list. Hey, no DNA, no like following
They said there were
people
no
around
fingerprints on any of the threats. They explained this already, Brian.
Brian.
If you can't pay enough
Been
attention
watching Law
to
and
hear
Order.
these things,
it's not our fault.
I've been watching a fuck ton of Law and Order. Like I said, there's no way
In
Batman did
preparation
everything
for a
right.
bullet for Bullock. Yeah.
I bet you could have solved this one, Dylan. But no, it just to me it feels like if these like go to the place where these these letters are appearing.
Aren't they showing up at Bullock's house or whatever?
Yeah, they're appearing in his mailbox.
Yeah.
Who's putting him there? Just go
Who
on
has
this thing and
access
see.
to Bullock's mailbox?
That's true. He
I'm
was
just
spending all
saying.
this time watching Bullock, and he was like, forgot to watch the mailbox.
Yeah, okay. So the Batman show, I think, has to balance the, like, Batman's a really impressive Sherlock Holmes, but also children are watching this and have to try to figure it out themselves at the same time or something. And even you, Brian, when you're watching it, he's like, the real guy shows up. And I thought, oh, maybe Brian will guess it's the only other like new character this episode. And you still had the whole time his mask was on your face. Huh? Like, who is that? And then when they took the mask off, you still kind of, wait, who is that? Because it wasn't very memorable of a guy from 20 minutes prior. So
to be fair, it was the way we were watching it was very, very quiet. And so I was trying to do my best just to hear what was being said.
I didn't know the volume was bad. I'm sorry.
Mm-hmm. He says that now because excuses are like buttholes.
They need to be cleaned daily.
Just you, stinky gross. I hate excuses.
This was, wow, that did not go over the way I expected it to.
He never
Welcome
does.
to the pod.
Jump on the Bat-Wagon, yeah. Let's talk about the cast of this episode.
Let's talk about the cast. I'm waiting for you to play the song.
Yeah, I was thinking I might play it in its entirety or see how long I can go, because this was quite the episode of this guy.
It was very Bullock heavy.
I'll leave him for the end, okay? We got Kevin Conroy as Batman, Ephraim Zimbalist Jr. as Alfred, who hasn't been around a lot lately. He was in the Batcave for one scene.
Oh, okay.
He's like, you're going to work with that guy, but he hates you. Goodbye now. Greg Berger as Rosie. His name in the credits is with 1 G, but it's actually supposed to be with 2 Gs. There's a little tribs for you.
Wait.
Uh-huh.
You can't spell Greg with 1 G.
Oh, that's true.
So it's either Greg with 2 Gs or 3.
Look, let me tell you, there's
Wait,
3.
is it the burger with 2 Gs?
No, it's Greg.
Oh.
That was a good save I could have said there, because you would never been able to know, but it was Greg. So this Greg Berger, his main thing is he's been the voice of Odie on Garfield stuff since 1982.
Oh my God.
He's still doing it today, as far as I understand. I don't
my God.
Odie doesn't fucking say anything. he just like barks or whatever. So I don't know why they keep having this guy.
I think he barks and occasionally does a huh?
Yeah, something like, yeah. He was also the voice of Eeyore in Winnie the Pooh stuff, but just from 2011 to 2014. I don't know what was going on during that time.
The Dark Ages of Pooh.
He voiced Grimlock, the Dark Ages of Pooh. Grimlock on the Transformers 80s animated series. Firefly, Cutter, and Sparks on the G.I. Joe 80s animated series.
Can I go back to the dark ages of poo? Stinky, ew.
Ew, gross. Excuses are just like Eeyore, they say. He played a character named the Bellhop on 30 episodes of Sesame Street from 1986 to 1996, but I don't know this character, and Sesame Street is on in my house quite often, so I may have to revisit season's middle. Mysterio and Kraven the Hunter on Spider-Man 90s animated series, which was cool.
Oh.
He's also the Kingpin on the Spider-Man Web of Shadows video game and Galactus on the Marvel Ultimate Alliance video game. He voiced Agent K on Men in Black, the animated series, the Tommy Lee Jones character. He is the announcer on Angry Beavers, which I don't know if I don't remember this heavenly voice, but it must be there somewhere. Yeah, he was the one saying Angry Beavers. He was additional voices on 8 episodes of Super Friends, and he played Corn-Fed Pig on Duckman Private Dick.
No!
Also in the video game Duckman, which I did not know was a thing.
Oh my God, it gets deeper.
I know. He'll be back as a few.
We need a
other
playthrough of
minor roles.
Duckman.
Yeah, we need to do Duckman streams on the Watchtower database. Mary Devon as some lady. We have Jeffrey Jones as Nivens. He plays a character named Shadow Hog on Invader Zim. I don't really remember, but I'm sure it was there. He is Charles, the dad in Beetlejuice.
Oh, okay.
Redheaded dad guy. He's also Principal Rooney in Ferris Bueller's Day Off. So that's where you probably know him from the most.
I
And
know
he
him from Beetlejuice.
he'll be back as if I threw that in for Brian. He'll be back as a few other minor roles. Also, he's Warden on Duckman Private Dick.
God damn it!
We got 2 this time.
So I've been waiting to see if it came up in Tribs. Can I point out a not so fun fact about Jeffrey Jones?
Please do.
So Jeffrey Jones is a criminal that rhymes with a registered Rex defender.
Yes, I knew this.
He had a thing with again, it rhymes with piled pornography.
Oh.
Yeah. Just wanted to bring the pod down just a little bit.
No, I knew that was in the back of my mind when I was looking up his stuff. I didn't want to look up like what the specific thing was. But then whenever I saw like present day picture of him on his Wikipedia, he looks so disgusting, and then to know that was a thing is like, well.
Yeah, that checks out.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yep.
He somehow still gets acting work.
You're kidding me.
Last is Leanne Shermer as Officer Renee Montoya, which is interesting because she wasn't an officer in this episode. And Robert Costanzo as Detective Bullock!
Get up with the hybrid flag! Get up with the hybrid flag!
See how long we can go.
Get up with the hybrid flag!
The whole way.
Get up with the hybrid flag! Get up with
Oh, God. I don't like that.
Oh, it loops badly.
Yeah, it loops badly, I guess. Anyway, he got up on the Hydra's back. He was Detective Bullock. Yeah, this is the Bullockiest episode ever, wouldn't you say, Brian?
I would say.
We got some small tribs, so I'll just dive into them. This episode is based on the comic story of the same name, Bullet for Bullock, Detective Comics number 651, October 1992, by Chuck Dixon.
I figured out how to play it.
Oh, you did? It was very simple.
I mean, it's like 3 notes, right?
I can
But it's in,
barely hear,
like,
we can barely hear that, so we don't
Yeah,
know.
it's not plugged in.
If you can't hear, he's playing it perfectly.
It's in B, though, and I'm currently tuned down to D, so it's a step down, but...
He's playing it shittily.
Yeah, in Hero Illustrated Special number 1 from 1994, it called this episode loosely based on the comic, but I want to read you what the comic synopsis is that this is based on.
Do it.
Detective Harvey Bullock finds himself targeted by a series of murder attempts and threatening notes, and eventually is forced to turn to Batman for help. The chief suspect is Vinny the Shark Starkey, who Bullock arrested a decade ago. Batman and Bullock quickly raid the factory and arrest Starkey and all of his associates, but the real culprit is still at large. Bullock is confronted outside his apartment by a masked gunman that very night, revealed to be none other than Nivens, Bullock's landlord, who had been trying to get Bullock to leave his apartment. As Bullock takes Nivens into custody, he reflects on one last irony. He had already been thinking about moving. Yeah, it seems really loosely based.
When you say
Why would they include that word?
when you say loosely based, what exactly are you comparing the looseness to?
Maybe the rest of it, all the in-between moments are him just like unicycling around or something.
No. That's as tight as Fort Knox, baby.
Yeah. It's like, it makes me wonder like how they can credit Michael Reeves or anyone else as a writer for the episode. But it's like, this is the comic, actually. It's not.
They're like, no. In the comic book, there's no Montoya. You see completely different.
Yeah. In the comic, Batman is a different costume, you see.
This is the whole Vanilla Ice David Bowie thing all over again. It's just about
Sure,
one note.
That's like my favorite interview clip ever. Vanilla Ice going ding 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 tss, ding 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 ding. It's that itty bitty ting. They ain't the same.
Yeah.
It's different.
Yeah. Oh my God.
There weren't cockroaches in the making a gun.
You see, the comic book was stationary. This is an animated episode.
Yeah,
the whole
comic
thing's
book
moving.
was on
It's
paper,
different.
actually. Yeah. The episode won an Emmy for outstanding music direction and composition. Is a good thing about this.
Wait, it won an
Yeah.
Emmy
Yeah.
for music composition?
Yes. Because it's like television related. I guess it has to fall under that or something. I don't know.
Like, I feel like it could have won a Grammy for music, but
Yeah,
you know, I'm just
I mean, if it
old
was by
school.
itself, yeah. There's a website called Jazz Animated, apparently, or at least there was at the time. The composer Harvey Cohen wrote, Shirley Walker, as you know, was the music supervisor / primary composer for BTAS and kind of set the musical tone for the show, lush, dark, and similar to the Elfman scores for the first two films. With the Bullet score, I was told to write a jazz score, but not specifically of any time period. The hard-boiled detective film noir style felt right. Also, as luck would have it, I got the assignment 2 to 3 days after Henry Mancini's death in July 1994. He and his music were big influences on me, and the score is kind of a tribute to him. You know, are you familiar with Mancini? He's the Peter Gunn, Pink Panther guy. He also, I looked him up. He wrote the entire score for The Great Mouse Detective, which I had no idea. That was a kind of cool thing to find out.
What year did he die?
1994, I guess. So, yeah.
Oh.
He also did the music for the movie Waiting Till Dark.
Yeah,
Which, if you haven't
there's like
seen,
100
is
other
dope.
movies that he did the score for that I didn't know about.
The more you know.
I know. And in spirit, a bullet for Bullock, kind of.
I need to refill my water.
How do you deal with these distractions, James?
We wait for Brian. Continuing on, now that Brian is back from filling up his water and Dylan and I are done talking about the almost racial slur that happened in the episode that we're not going to discuss. Vincent Starkey's appearance was modeled after actor Lee Marvin, known for his tough guy roles. Except I looked up various movies he was in. I didn't know any of them, but Dylan's probably upset about that, so I don't know.
I think Lee Marvin is from The Big Red One and The Magnificent Seven, and The Big Red One he's in with Mark Hamill.
Oh, okay.
Where were you, Jamie?
Not born. He died like 4 years before I was born or something.
Well, that makes one of us.
Yeah, well, you wish you died before I was born, so you didn't have to do this podcast.
Is him as Vinny the Shark just like, is that the character? Is that the actor just doing a slightly different voice, or did they pitch down his voice?
So the DCAU wiki had the guy that Batman roughs up on the roof, whatever his voice was the same, like uncredited also as Vinny the Shark or whatever. And I don't know if that's true because sometimes they get those
IMDb
horribly
says it's
wrong.
Jeffrey Jones as Vinny the Shark.
Oh, okay. Well, then I don't know. I think it makes more sense for it to be Jeffrey Jones if they're getting like a high profile guy to, but also Greg Berger voices Odie, so who knows? Last I've got, Bullock should not have been present for the interrogation of Vinny, much less performing the questioning. No reputable police department will allow an officer to investigate a crime in which they were the victim. How does that check out with your Law and Order?
Having watched Law and Order, Stabler interrogates a lot of people involved with him. I'm just saying it happens.
Fair point. Okay, Dylan wins.
Keen effects in this here episode. What we got? The Dunko Donuts. The train lights or something? I don't know. Nothing's sticking out to me except for the like flashing muzzle flash lighting on the roof, but we talked about that.
There was a close-up of a face that was pretty good. When was it? That it was the close-up of the guy screaming at the car, I think, when the truck is coming to hit him.
Ooh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. And Niven's at the end being like, no one would ever, no jury would indict me, never, or whatever. Like, he was really...
Not very keen. ears in this episode were not keen.
Bullock's ears specifically being the cinnamon rolls or whatever we were calling them. Yeah,
They were anti-keen.
they were 25% off Keen. It's a reference to a sign in a shoe store that I sent to the people here and Keen. But anyway, yeah, I don't know. Nothing's sticking out as specifically Keen. The music was keen as hell, but
The music was keen. I can't wait to hear Jordan's comments.
yeah. He'll just be like, "Oh, I liked it."
Don't let me down, Jordan.
I don't know. Most of it was just fine. I think it's weird because I think this is a rarity of the animation. 50% of the time was kind of like, ugh. But the story and music and the like character interactions between Batman and Bullock were all just so good that I didn't care. Like, I didn't care that Batman's face was a little frumpy sometimes, or that Bullock's eyeballs were inside out every once in a while, or whatever. Like, when Summer Gleason walks in the room and catches him doing shit, and he just looks at the look he gives her, I was like, why is his eyeball backwards? Like, I don't know how to describe. Well, there was something else. I think it was just your, like, Bullock like leaning over some lady's chair, and you're like, don't do it, Bullock. Like, don't do anything creepy. Like, we're supposed to like you this episode. I really don't want there to be. Yeah,
He kind of had a wild look in his eye, and he was getting close to Summer Gleason.
yeah.
That was a little skeezy.
Yeah.
Little skeezy. That's also Bullock's rap name.
Lil
Skeezy.
Name for the episode.
It won't
Bullet
be
for Bullock or Bullet for Lil Skeezy.
It's just the same thing. We're not gonna. It's not the racial slur that Bullock.
No,
called Batman.
we're not doing that.
The one you said not to address that you now keep addressing.
I've addressed multiple times. Yeah, Batman's usefulness in this episode. Not. I don't know.
Pretty good. Bullock would have been dead a couple times.
Yeah, he would have,
if not
yeah.
for Batman. And I've already got a thing. We should talk about it first, though.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Yeah. Hold on to it. Okay. Well, okay, I agree that he sucked at actually finding the killer, but in the rest of the time before either of them go like, oh shit, it's a different person. Yeah, he was doing a really good job of keeping Bullock alive and especially in the moments where Bullock was like, "Can you let me in on the plan, please, Jesus Christ?" And he's like, "Goodbye," like 4 different times. Bats. He's gone. Yeah.
Yeah, that's fair.
He saves his life 3 times?
Yeah, at least,
Yep.
yeah. What the
4 or
fuck was
5.
with that car? I just remembered the car that falls on them, and there's no bottom to the car. Why they just go through the car?
It's just a car body completely intact.
Yeah.
No
They show no
explanation.
shot like from underneath that it's going
No.
to be empty either. You're like, oh, they're dead. And then it's just like, oh, I guess not.
I thought Batman was going to push him out of the way or roll them away or something, and then instead he just like gets on top of Bullock as if he's going to take the brunt of the car, and then the car smashes both their bodies and they're just in it now. Like
Look, Batman's
they
cape
clipped
is
through
really
the-
strong. Yeah.
yeah, the video game clipped through the bottom of the car. We made the collective joke about the Flintstones car.
Yeah. I think Batman and Bullock were trying to do like a speed run glitch.
Yeah.
Like, no,
If we
can't
roll
do this.
now, yeah. If we get in the car, if you press B to get in the car while it's falling, you'll actually clip through the wall and we can keep going. Yeah. You can skip
And the bad
like half
guy's
the
just
map
sitting
that way.
there,
Yeah.
sitting there with his gun up to the window, going, "I can't believe you found out that glitch."
Yeah, you weren't supposed to know. He's like a white blood cell in the game.
Okay, with all that being said, I give Batman a kind of begrudging 8 out of 10. Bullock's like maybe getting run over by a train, or maybe it's on the tracks
Yeah.
next to him. We don't really know. Out of 10.
I'm glad you didn't say this, because as soon as you said you had one, I was like, oh no, it's the one that Brian brought up during the episode. I'm going to give Batman, I'll meet you at the 8, an 8 pocket full of toothpicks, because we have no idea how many of those he's got or where they come from. He just always has one.
But he's deadly with them when he flicks
Yeah,
them.
he flicked it right at Nibbins.
Stuck it in him,
just
yeah.
Stuck in
It
his
was like,
chest.
it would have been in his heart if he wasn't wearing a jacket.
Straight through his skin. Yeah.
Dylan, what do you got?
I think your usefulness is too high because he's like, it's a 10 for Harvey, but for Gotham as a whole, it's like a 1. So I think I'm averaging it out to like 5 uncomfortable Summer Gleasons out of 10.
Gotham lost because Harvey got to continue existing.
It was like the very end of the episode, Dylan, and it's kind of like cameras panning back, whatever, and like 12 people were robbed in the time he was watching Bullock.
yeah, he was keeping a really sharp eye on Bullock, and there's just my purse in the background, and he's doing nothing about it. Yeah.
He spent at least a couple days laser focused on Bullock and was like, "Oh, Two-Face just robbed the second bank of Gotham? I don't got time for that."
Yeah. He was like, "Hey, Robin, can you keep an eye on the city while I watch this one guy? I have like 4 classes tomorrow." It doesn't just skip them, please. We need to make sure that the guy that hates me and is hoping I die every other episode stays alive and keeps being on the force.
Right.
You know?
Yeah, he's very
There's an
useful.
epilogue where Robin's just like, 3 people died.
Alfred, I tried to get Alfred to get you off the case, but he was a little too nice about it. So I need to let you know.
Batman, you might not want to go in the Bat Cave. There's just a pile of bodies.
I've been collecting them. Yeah. I didn't know what you normally do with these. I don't take them at all, Robin. I'm just off at school so often. I don't know. Just being a college dick. Is episode books or hip hop, do we think?
Dylan?
It feels like it should be jazz, but I guess it's got to be hip hop.
No, we give some other episode jazz, didn't we? I swear we did. So I think we can do it with this one too, for sure.
Sure,
It's the jazziest episode. Yeah.
I'll follow our Lord and Savior Dylan Pollack.
Yes,
this is
for
jazz.
Sure. Amen.
Dylan, are you Catholic? What is this?
I'm Jewish. It's just like there's nobody's like, let me throw out the
He
star.
knows. He just knows.
So you have Catholics and then
knows
you
how to
have
make-
Jewish people.
Yeah,
They got better iconography. It's easier to cross your chest than like 6 points. Not too hard.
He does those little S's that you make with 6 lines.
cool
and then you can,
S.
But you don't want to do 2 of those. Don't do 2 of those.
You try for a star, David. You do 1 accidental 5-pointed. You summon the devil.
You get
I
upside
started,
down, yeah.
I started to draw the star and it ended up upside down in 5
Whoopsie.
points. Whoa.
Yeah, and that's Batman's usefulness. Anyway, top 10. And did we put this on the top 10?
Dylan does.
Well,
I mean,
yeah, it
considering
has to.
I have nothing there, it's just Christmas.
No.
Christmas with the Joker. I think I put it at 11.
Joker.
That's your
do you
11th,
put-
yeah.
Do you put this above or below?
It for now has to be number 1 for Dylan. Like of the 2
Okay.
options, this is at the top.
So you have 1, a bullet for Bullock, and 2,
11.
or an 11, sorry, Christmas for the Joker.
Yes, 2 through 10 are currently blank. I'll get there.
A bullet with Bullock, with the Bullock, and then a Christmas for Joker is what you.
Yes.
There you go. A bullet with the Bullock. That's funnier than it should be. Anyway, Brian, are you putting this in here? I see that you've added a number 11 to mine that says that Hey Arnold episode where the grandfather eats the blueberry pie. But I don't recall this episode.
Now I think about it, I think it might be Blackberry. I'm going to adjust that.
It's not the one where he was having playtime with too many sticks. It's not that.
Inside jokes.
I think I brought that up on the podcast. I don't know.
Oh, thank God! I was like, I thought I had watched more Hey Arnold. I don't remember.
No, you would know.
Ooh,
You know-
Jamie, you go first.
Yeah, it's a tough call because I just put Batgirl Returns as my number 10 pretty recently. I did have a lot of fun in this episode. Like, there's a lot of stuff to be happy about and to be excited about. Are you putting it above Pav on yours? That's your number 10.
I already know what I'm doing, but I am waiting for you.
Okay.
I have no skin in this game, but I'm like, I think it's better than Batgirl Returns, but I think it's worse than Pav. Or is it? I don't know. Good luck. It's your choice.
First time erasing the Hey Arnold one. It's just too confusing.
No!
You had put Batgirl Fangirl Returns as the name also for Batgirl Returns.
I
Anyway, I think I'll put it at number 9. It made the cut, which knocks Batgirl Returns off. So my new top 10 in reverse, I've got number 10, the bat who killed Man. A bullet for Bullock.
Did I do that?
No, I just accidentally said that.
Oh, sweet.
Riddler's Reformed Second Chance, Almost Got I'm, Heart of Ice, Two-Face Part 1, Feet of Clay Part 2, On Leather Wings, of course, and Robin's Reckoning Part 1. I think that's pretty solid. I think that's probably how it's going to stay. But, you know, what are your... Oh, there's just nothing at number 2. That's so weird. I wonder where that went.
Yeah, me
I
too.
can't undo your undo. I have to
Yes,
write the
that's
whole
true.
thing out again. What are you doing here? What are you putting? Where are you putting it?
I'm just watching the two of them mercilessly type against each other.
Damn it, Brian. Stop this.
No.
This is madness.
Okay, this is hard for me.
You've had Pav on there for so long.
What episode number is Pav?
2.
No.
Sure.
2.
Yeah, 2. I agree. It's 2.
In air date order, what episode number is it?
That's what I'm going to look at right now. But Brian was so confident, and I know it wasn't the second one that we watched, because that was On Leather Wings. POV was the 13th episode.
Well, that's still very
Wow.
early, but not as early as I thought.
It is
Yeah, it's time, to
time
knock it
for
off.
me to say goodbye to Pav.
Damn. Bullock got rid of Montoya.
Don't worry,
was the
Montoya's
Montoya
still
episode.
there.
Yeah, she was
I-
in the episode. Yeah.
I love Pav. I thought it was great. But, and here's the surprise,
Oh, man.
I'm putting this at number 9.
That's what I did.
Yeah, but my list is better than yours.
Oh, that adds up. That's different.
So
That's true.
now with this adjustment, I have Don't You
I did one bullet for Bullock. I wanted to find out if we know Harvey Bullock, his middle name, like in comics or something, because
Okay.
I wanted to call the episode like one bullet for Harvey whatever Bullock. Nope, it's just Harvey Bullock. We don't know. Oh well.
If you give him one bullet, he will open his trench coat.
One bullet
There-
for
there-
Harvey Dylan Bullock, he wrote. All right. That's his new
Okay.
canonical middle name after
I am
Mr.
honored.
Pollack himself, yes.
Okay, so my list now from 10 to 1. Sorry, Pav. Love it.
Yeah.
But this
Joker's
is
flavor.
this is a good one. So 10 to 1, Joker's favor. 1 Bullock for Harvey Dylan Bullock.
You
Bullet?
said Bullock twice.
Man, it's hard to say.
It's pronounced Twiger the second time.
Harley's Holiday. Beware of the gray. Beware the gray ghost.
It's written perfectly in front of you.
I know. I can't unread it as beware of slash
slash
the
the
gray ghost
yeah.
slash beware the gray ghost. Second chance. Almost got him. Riddler's Reform. Roberts. Reckoning Part 1. Feet of Clay Part 2. And Heart of Ice. Rightfully.
Put the
in
wine
its
down, Brian.
The wine's gone.
One bullet for Bullock.
That's just dyslexia at its best.
Well, I'm glad that this both made our top 10, because I was worried when I read off that Studio Junio had done the animation, because I was going to be like, oh no, like, is it actually sucky? And I just don't remember, because I remember liking this one a lot, yeah. Yoppie Mail? You go to the mail? Do the mail now?
Let's do some
And then when
mail.
we come back, I'll tell Brian the name of the last Batman the Animated Series episode.
Do we have anything to say about this episode before we go to the mail? I feel like we kind of
That's a
breezed
good
through.
point. I don't know. It's good.
It's perfect.
Dylan coming in clutch.
What was it? Kevin What was it?
Altierable.
Altierable. God damn it. That's a new rating system for Superman when I don't think either of those guys ever show up.
All right, bring us the mail, Jamie.
Okay.
That yop. That one small extra yop put it over.
We drop what we drop. Our weekly yop.
Oh, yeah. Those.
To the comment. There sure was a lot.
Now Jamie's mad.
Too bad we're all.
At least Dylan
Just Dylan
Harvey
Pollack.
Dylan Bullock. Dylan Bullock. Like, we can't just let the song ever play, Kimmy. I'm sorry.
It's too fun to
Yeah.
It just makes you want to like join in.
If you want to reach out to us like the fire hand at the end of the Cat in the Claw Part 2, email us at batwagonpod@gmail.com. If you send in a voice message, Dylan, please keep it under 60 seconds, one per person for the sake of the length of the show, okay? And you
Way
can
over 60
and should
seconds.
you can and should also leave a comment on today's episode on the Podtower, like you always do, but I never read them because I can only do one person per thing. But if you send in mail or leave a comment, please do not spoil anything past this episode for Brian. Okay.
Jamie didn't realize what he just said there, but he will when he's editing it.
What did I say?
Don't worry about it. Let's go forward.
One person per thing? Did I say cow? I'm just kidding. This is from Scotty Cameron. Batman takes a bullet for Bullock fired from Mr. Ditkovich. Hey, Yoppie dudes. Great episode as always. Bullet for Bullock. Are you ready to get up on the Hydra's back? Because I know Batman is. This is a good episode. We get a deeper insight into Bullock's character as we figure out who is trying to kill Bullock. It reminds me of Vendetta, where Batman's trying to help Bullock capture a criminal with a bone to pick with him. We go from Killer Croc framing Bullock because Bullock initially put him in prison to Mr. Ditkovich wanting Bullock out of his apartment complex. That's right, folks. Mr. Ditkovich was in the DC universe before he was in the Marvel universe, going from Detective Bullock's landlord to Spider-Man's landlord. Just kidding. I forget the character's name, so I'm calling him Mr. Ditkovich because he's a landlord. That's the guy that goes... Give me rent, that guy. You know what I'm talking? In Spider-Man 2.
He's like, no soup for you.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm going to have to call Scotty out real hard right now. Scotty comments on my podcast, Movies Watch Before You Die. Let me just pick that name up. And literally today, we were recording our podcast.
Oh.
And he left a comment also about Mr. Ditkovich on our podcast. And I'm like, is he just, are we being sampled?
He's doing synergy. Synergy, they call it, I think.
Let's hope that's what it is.
When does that episode come out?
Friday.
Okay, yeah, see?
What time?
Fridays at 1:00.
So you can listen to the Yoppie Dudes podcast, and then you can listen to Movies to Watch Before You Die, which you should.
Brian doing the good Lord's work.
Jordan Newman, Bullet for Bullock. Never apologize for loving your fandom. Try to stay optimistic. I ran out of time to say it. Sent from my iPhone.
You're listening to GCN, Gotham City News with Jack Ryder. Tonight's top story, our very own Summer Gleason tells me that Detective Bullock has someone out to get him, and frankly, that makes a lot of sense. Eyewitnesses saw him hanging out with Batman, so apparently Batman's helping him to sort the whole thing out. Good on you, Batman. But our other top story tonight, I've got an exciting announcement for you folks, because we here at the Gotham News Network are expanding our investigative journalism, and to that end, I will soon be joining the cast of the Gotham Insider, bringing you hard-hitting news from right out in the field. But don't worry, I'll still be hosting GCN as well.
The continuity, man.
Now over to the music. We got so much jazz in this episode. I love jazz, and we got some 50s kind of free jazz feeling stuff. We got some full-on swing jazz, like just straight 30s swing. And we got a swing version of the Batman theme, and I loved that.
Oh, yeah, we didn't talk about that somehow. I'm glad that Jordan says these things. Yeah, this I think it was like 2 or 3 times where it just like does it like boo boo boo, and then keeps going. Saxophone
awesome.
Solo. Yeah, it was really good.
I badly want Jordan to run out of just a little more time and have to type out the trumpet noise at the beginning too. For me
do, do, do. Brian, because you don't have X anymore. That's what it's called now. Instead of Twitter, you see, it's called X now.
Is it actually?
Genius business move.
Yeah, it's called
to just
X
throw
now.
away your branding.
There was an X.
Just call it Twitter.
Last night. As a tweet, what's your favorite 1970s to 1990s anime? And I had quote X'd. Bass guitar intensifies. And there's a bunch of people that tweeted like, I could read this as this song, I understand. So, like,
Tank is just perfect, and I think it's just really like proliferated in the minds of those who've seen it.
Yeah, you get what it is. This is from Scarloey 1, Jump on the Mechanic Wagon, Season 2, Episode 18.
Oh, man.
Hello, listener, and welcome to Jump on the Mechanic Wagon. I'm your host, Scarloey 1. In this episode, I will tell you about Season 2, Episode 18 of Earl, the animated series, Get Up. One afternoon in late December, Earl was building a Hydra-shaped float for the Gotham City New Year's Parade. Earl said, "Hey, Batman, can you get up on the Hydra's back and tell me if it's stable?" "Sure, Earl," replied Batman. After Batman got up on the Hydra's back, he said, "Seems stable, but where is the Batmobile?" "You're standing on it," replied Earl. "You turned the Batmobile into a parade float." "Do you expect me to do it to my own car?" Another great episode. I hope this show never ends. Next week's the finale, by the way. Anyway, see you next week. Same TV time, same poo channel.
I like the Batman's just helping with the parade, I guess. Local parade fanatic, Bruce Wayne. I mean Batman.
I just love the idea of the Batmobile actually being built into a parade float, and then the turbine kicks off, and the paper mache in the back just all like combusts like immediately.
Yeah, they were. Just putting normal like amount of ignition into this thing is a rocket. I forgot.
Yeah,
I have to know what's going to happen to jump on the mechanic wagon once it's Superman the animated series.
I know. Yeah.
So I'm guessing the thing that you seem, Jamie, really excited about with Jordan's message is it must be a Superman media something.
No.
Oh, guess away, you fool. You foolish fool.
You'll find out. This is from Dino Faced Individual. Bullet for Bullock Hench Reviews. Comment submitted by We're in the Walls 233. Hey, you may... I don't know whose voice I'm doing. Hey, you may wonder who's creating this post. Is it the drug dealer who is out of prison? Sadly, no. We wish we had voices nearly as cool as him. Our names are Blimpy, Carl, and Letitia. We're the cockroaches living in Bullock's apartment. You might be asking, how are you even remotely villainous to where you're posting on this website? Well, aside from our coordinated gun posing to scare Harvey, we also like to crawl up to his ears and whisper into them while he's sleeping. Letitia really likes to try and get him to believe he's Santa Claus, and Blimpy has been telling him to not clean his apartment. I've been whispering into the landlord's ear, well, everything I could do to make him snap. It didn't take much work, I'll be honest. We'll rate Nivens 5 out of 5. He is steadily pushing forward the plan for the roaches to become the god emperors of the entire world and old Chuck E. Cheeses. Jacob Alvarado. My first interaction, but not my last.
Hello.
Welcome. A Bullet for Bullock, an episode all about getting on the Hydra's back. Hello, Yoppie dudes and dudettes. I'm Dylan Jacob, a longtime listener who's finally caught up. Yeah, sure, Dylan. A likely story.
Guys, it's totally not me.
Dylan Pollack is the listener. Anyways, yes, I remember Gotham City's world-famous Dunko Donuts. Don't remember this episode much, but on rewatch, I noticed that pretty fast. This episode was all right, not bad, but I did love all the times Batman just disappears on Bullock. The jazzy music was pretty neato, especially the jazz interpretation of the BTAS theme when Batman jumped down on Vinny and his gunsels. Yes, I know what that means. Lastly, it's story time. When I was young, I watched this show with my dad along with South Park, Don't Ask. He would record episodes of BTAS on VHS so we could rewatch them whenever, and I remember one time watching with him, I must have been like 4 or 5, I don't know, but Bullock was being his usual angry self towards Batman, and I said out loud, wow, he's a dick. My dad didn't look away from the TV and said, you're not wrong, but don't say that again. Happy to be here on the Bat-Wagon with y'all. Stay happy. Welcome to it. Thank you.
Welcome, Dylan.
Speaking
I just
of
bought
which,
another laptop.
yeah, all your different IP addresses. You're doing really good at different like fonts and sizes of text and stuff in the emails. It's really nice. This last one comes from Dylan Pollack. Best podcast episode ever, second only to Christmas with the Joker. I wonder why you would have that opinion.
It's time for the thoughts of the week from Dylan Pollack on A Bullet for Bullock, or ACAB. All cops are Bullocks. Does anyone else think that even if the car in the beginning of the
Okay.
Does anyone else think that even if the car in the beginning of the episode almost takes Harvey out and runs him over, that doesn't give him permission to just start blindly shooting down the street at it? Montoya tells Bullock, you don't look so good. Well, you never look good. He didn't need the additional disc, Montoya. Somebody's trying to murder him. Please. Vinny the Shark is running rock crystal. Is that supposed to be crystal meth?
Yeah, I guess.
And Montoya is around a lot of this episode with only one line. She's literally addressed at times and just remains silent. She's just there in the background. It just felt weird. I think this episode would only be better if it ends with even more random people trying to murder Bullock. Like, why just his landlord? Why not the pizza man? Why not his urologist? All right, let's get to the question of the week. James' favorite part. Why is this episode so much better than your usual episodes? No, I'm just kidding. That's not the question. The real question is, in your spare time, do you prefer rock crystal, Coca-Cola, Juana Mari? Answer carefully. The feds are listening.
Okay. I just like alcohol. That's all. Don't worry.
Red wine, baby.
Yeah.
A good diet Coca-Cola.
You know what? It just made me realize that you totally watched this episode again with us instead of just watching it.
I watched it multiple times. I got to be ready. You got to be in the mindset. And I still was not ready for the synopsis. I was like,
That's what you meant then. I thought you just meant in general in your life you've only watched it once or whatever.
I've also realized the only thing more like narcissistic of myself than listening to the episodes and being like all excited every time I'm played or I'm said. Is me watching you listen to my own voice. Like,
I was noticing
how's
you
that
laughing
going?
at your own jokes too, which was nice. A nice little touch there.
I also laugh at my own jokes.
I had to make sure while we were watching not to repeat things that I knew I said in the email. I was like, don't talk about Montoya not talking.
Yeah, when you brought up the crystal, the rock crystal, I was like, I'm pretty sure when we were watching the episode, you're like, did he say rock crystal? You guys caught that, right? You guys, so it's going to be in my voice message, so make sure that you heard him say that.
The thing that you brought up in your message there, or Dylan Pollack's message, I don't know if
whoever that was,
all the same.
Yeah.
They all blend together.
It reminds me of like Airplane. Like we were talking about like the Pizza Man. Maybe
they're all in a line.
There should just be a lineup.
A literal line of people with like baseball bats and guns and sticks of dynamite just waiting to kick the shit out of Bullock.
Instead of Nivens, the landlord, underneath the mask, Batman pulls it off and it's just someone we've not seen before. Like, who the fuck are you? Like, I'm the guy that he didn't tip at the gas station. You know, it's like, all this stuff.
You just see a bus and coming off is Summer Gleason and Montoya, Commissioner
They've
Gordon.
got baseball bats and various weapons.
Robin and Batman.
Yeah, Batman's there too.
Killer Croc.
Yeah.
Also, Jamie, the whole tipping gas station people in New York, you're allowed to pump your own gas, unlike Oregon.
Yeah,
you don't have to pump your own
state.
gas.
Well, they're starting to now. I don't know if you saw
It's us and New Jersey. We're not. So there's certain places. If you are in a rural enough place.
Past
after
like 6
a certain
p.m. or something.
After a certain hour, you can pump your own gas.
Yeah.
Or, and this is why I love the Seven Feathers exit 99. It's tribal land, and so they don't have to.
A big bus.
I mean, that's like an hour and a half, 2 hours south. But
just getting more specific
because it's tribal land. It doesn't like have to like abide by all the state rules, so you can just pump your own gas there. And whenever I'm on a road trip, I'm like, okay, please let me get there. I just want to pump my own gas again. It's ridiculous.
See, yeah, so I went most of my driving life not knowing how to do that, because to me it makes sense on one hand as a like,
because you're from Oregon,
more jobs, more jobs for people, stuff. But then when you're at a place when you're a person that's not used to that, and a guy just approaches your car and like starts unhooking the stuff, and you're like, what the fuck is happening? Or whatever, like, get away from me. Like, I've heard that from many people that are not expecting that. So. Oh, P.S. I do know how to pump my own ghost now. My own ghost. I gotta pump a ghost.
You can't even say it, for Christ's sake.
I know how to pump my geese.
Stinky
I know how to do it. I promise.
I'm still betting New Jersey is just worse, though, because not only can you not pump your own gas, you also can't make a left virtually anywhere in Jersey.
Dylan, can we have a talk about jug handles?
What?
That was the slur that Batman said that we're not supposed to.
Listen up, you slime bucket jug handle.
The things on the turnpikes where it's like it's like you have a highway and there's just like an off ramp that makes like a 180 degree, well, I guess 100 degree turn or so for when you want to dart across the highway.
Yes.
So you dart across like the lane you were in and then the other lanes to get to like Dunko Donuts or something.
Of course.
Why does New Jersey do that? That is crazy.
They do that because you can't make a left turn. So they have designated areas for left turns or freaky ramps like that.
They call them freaky ramps.
Yeah, I never heard jug handles. The technical term is a freaky deaky ramp.
Doesn't it say like jug handle like half mile on road signs or something?
I have no idea. I try and avoid Jersey when I can.
Look, what my opinion on this is that let's move on to comments on Jump on the Bat-Wagon.
No, Jamie, we're talking about New England or Northeast things.
No,
I think people want to hear more about jug handles.
Yeah, let's talk about jug handles, Dylan.
That's the things when you eat too much like potato chips, right?
Really working on your jug handles, I see, Jamie.
Yeah, that's what we're going to call them now. Anyways, Catwalk, or You're Not As Deep As You Think, Selena. This is Ashley Tutchin.
Hey.
In all honesty, I'd completely forgotten about this episode, Catwalk, which is weird because I really like ventriloquist and I like seeing random villain team-ups. Side note, a random thought just occurred to me since you've covered a video game already. Will you be exposing Brian to the DCAU-related comics? This was something that Brian and I talked about forever ago, and it just doesn't feel like a medium that we can expect people to have as easy of access to or be able to, like, do their homework in time for the podcast. So I know that most people don't actually watch the episode like you're supposed to, but no. there will be like specific ones that I'll wish that Brian would have read, but there are so many that I really think are skippable that I don't need Brian to read, and there's literally like hundreds of them and we've already got way too much to get through. So no is the answer.
We can if we ever reach the end of this podcast, we ever reach the end of the DCAU, then maybe we can go into comics, but maybe not.
Yeah. We're in the hip hop era, or the book era is a little bit later, and we're not so into that right now.
I think if we ever finish this podcast, Jamie, I want to take dibs on the next thing that we do.
Yeah. I've wanted you to have dibs the whole time. Yeah. The whole time, even this time. Yeah, no, I said after we're done, we could just do a Brian thing, but we don't know what that is yet. Yeah.
In a few years, we could just do the Brian thing.
Yeah, in like 12 years from now, yeah. Batgirl, Fangirl. If someone doesn't crack a joke about reaching out like the arm of roaches behind Bullock's coat, I'm going to be very disappointed. Well, you did it, so congratulations.
Maybe that can be the new, if you want to get a hold of us, reach out like the cockroaches behind
the
Bullock's
arm of cockroaches
jacket.
behind Bullock's coat, yeah. Nice entrance. Batman looked so sad. He jumped down from a great height, swept the bad guys off their feet, and then Bullock comes down on that hook. Batman just gets ignored. Yeah, he did. Bullock, we went like, whoa, or whatever when Bullock comes down on the hook. We're like, sweet, dude.
That was pretty badass, actually. That was like maybe the most badass he's been, other than when he's like getting up on a Hydra's back or whatever.
Yeah,
we did mention another moment we all reacted to was Bullock leaping and screaming onto the guy while Batman takes out the rest of them.
Bah! He said. Batman was just like, it was right after I think Batman like gassed everybody and put a gas mask on, and you were like, whoa, Batman's killing people, and then Bullock just leaps out of the smoke going, bah! Yeah, we all laughed pretty good at that.
What do you think the voice direction was like in the recording studio that day?
Bullock screams. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah. All right, Robert. We need to get you some surprising sounds. So just fire through them. Wah! Hoo! Ah! Whoa!
He's doing
This is also Brian's impression of Al Pacino.
That's what I was trying to do. Yes, thank you. Whoa! Wah! Bah! Anyway, I love this one. The music is so good. The animation is nice. The story, does it have a happy ending? The first time I watched it, I thought it was going to be like Muppet Christmas Carol, and Bullock would see the error of his ways. At this stage, I just wish he'd eaten with his mouth closed. Great
Look,
message.
that's not how he does.
No, it does.
You got to take Bullock for who he is.
Great messages. Scarlowy one, Dylan, whatever, Jordan and Summer. Great pod as usual, guys. 5 stars and 5 really fragile packages that are left on a conveyor belt with no end, going way too fast. What? Where was that?
The Rock Crystal. The Rock Crystal conveyor belt.
Oh, okay. I missed that, I guess. I looked away for 1 second.
Oh, my God. Also, we didn't talk about this. Jamie, you know how I like to read signs and stuff.
You do.
In the episodes. Did anybody else happen to... Yeah, did anybody happen to notice when Bullock goes down into the subway that there's a sign cut off and it just says sis?
No. I saw K-Got, but I didn't see that.
K-Got makes sense, though. It's the radio station.
Yeah, it's the radio station. Yeah. Sis is a bad word you can't say on X.
Wait, really? Is Twitter going that way?
Elon was like,
by the way, tweets are now Zeets.
Oh.
There's Zeets with an X, yeah.
Okay,
no.
but hold on.
Brian, aren't you glad you left a while ago? Yeah.
Hold on.
Guys, if you just can't comprehend the big brain moves of Elon, that's on you.
The hypocrisy of the fact that he wanted Twitter
no censorship
to be
and
the freest speech of places.
Yeah.
And now sis, which is just
you can't say
a
that.
Description.
You're making this episode demonetized. Stop saying it. Quit. It's such a bad word.
You and Batman with your slurs.
I know. No, Harvey said it, didn't he?
Oh, yeah. You and Harvey with
I
your
messed
slurs.
that up, yeah.
Batman was calling people jug handles. My mistake.
Guys,
let's
everyone,
move past this. Brian.
stop buying Teslas and delete your Twitter accounts.
Yeah,
please.
don't just get. It's at that point. Nick Sorensen specified something that I forgot to bring up and thought about when I listened back last time. Was you had asked if there was like a Catwoman or Wonder Woman series or anything like that we'll be watching, and I said, there's no woman series. There was going to be a Catwoman cartoon spinoff of Batman the Animated Series. There was going to be a Robin show and a Catwoman show. And I feel like one other one, and they all didn't make it. They all were like didn't get greenlit.
Shoot.
I was going to talk to you about that in potential, like maybe a bonus episode eventually of like stuff we almost got them. You know what I mean? And then didn't get, because I don't want to tell you like necessary. I mean, it's fine that like, there was going to be a Catwoman show and there isn't. But like if I'm like, there was going to be this exact plot of an episode, then that we're never going to get something like that ahead of time, I guess. So anyway, whatever. Banana Boy says okay.
Okay.
Ian Thompson. The week after Christmas in July, A Bullet for Bullock may very well be the episode I've seen the most. It may not be my on-paper favorite, but I have watched it every year sometime in the week between Christmas and New Year's as part of my personal holiday tradition.
Really?
When you're doing your laundry.
That's cool.
As well as the noir tone and jazzy score and perfectly judicious use of peak asshole Bullock. It just perfectly captures that liminal cold between holidays time slog. The juxtaposition between residual holiday cheer and Bullock's put upon misanthropy and slovenly beat down humanity. The good use of misanthropy. The fact that the bad guys are so, oh God, is it banal? Banal? I don't know this one. Banal. There we go. Banala Boy says okay.
But I believe he meant Slavic. Not
oh,
Slavic.
sorry. You're right. Drug dealers and push too far landlords. Batman is in his element of street-level sacrifice, helping a guy who doesn't really deserve it, but really just needs him anyway. 10 guns made out of bugs out of 10. I'm glad that we didn't use that one, but I'm surprised we didn't at the same time.
Oh, yeah, that would have been good.
Yeah.
Peak asshole Bullock. Stinky. Ew.
Ew, gross. Yucky. Mark Aquino wasn't first this time, but I'll read it anyway. Time to talk about the episode centered around Brian's number one favorite side character, a ransom for Rossum, JK. Harvey Bullock, the detective who looks like an unmade bed. Alfred once again with the military-grade burns. This episode almost... That's what Alfred said in the episode, Brian. You didn't laugh this hard when
I didn't
Alfred
hear
said
it. Oh, my God.
Brian didn't even watch the episode.
Yeah, he was like, I didn't hear anything, so I just kind of made up whatever was happening. Yeah.
Oh, man. I missed so much. That's why we don't watch it in the way we did.
No, we don't. We won't again. This episode almost felt quaint in a way, seeing as we won't be getting these down-to-earth detective stories anymore once TAS rolls around. I would disagree with that. Does this count as a holiday episode, given the time frame the story takes place in? Yes. That's what
it does
Dylan's
because
here.
we got Dylan.
Yeah. I dug the music in this one. Very light and jazzy, as I'm sure Jordan will point out in this week's Musical Minute. As underwhelming as the reveal of the real culprit is, I at least didn't expect it. Didn't like how Bullock was almost handsy with some lady. That was unnecessary. Maybe he could have just low-key threatened her with leaking some shady shit she did in the past to get a news story, bribing someone, that sort of thing. That would have been at least less problematic. You're supposed to be a lovable grump, Bullock. Anyway, the animation was fine. I believe this was the last episode done by Studio Junio. They do some good work for the show with the likes of Avatar, Baby Doll, and Mudslide. I don't think we liked 2 out of 3 of those. Overall, this was a decent episode. Nothing special, but still better than the worst of the worst. We'll miss you, Harv. Well, he didn't get bulleted, so he'll be back.
Wait. Does Bullock come back in Superman?
Yeah. Well, yeah, actually, he does. Not regularly, but he does appear. Yeah, and he's not.
I don't need it
will be
every
back multiple
episode.
times. Yeah,
I just need him around because I'm still looking for inspiration for my Bullock tattoo.
Oh yeah.
I've got all
Just
this.
a taste.
I've got all this empty space.
Whatever
right
he called
here.
Batman near the end of the episode, you can just tattoo that in your arm or something.
No. I want Bullock shoveling donuts into his mouth, like right here.
Get a Dunko Donuts logo on right over your nipple.
I've actually thought about getting an Alice Isn't Dead tattoo back here, but like I'd never see it, so I don't think I'm gonna.
Yeah, that's the problem.
I'm gonna put it on this arm.
The back one.
Batman and Bullock in a hollowed out car with the Dunko Donuts.
Dylan, if you pay for it, I'll get it done.
No.
That's permanent, man. You can't do this. Praise for our Lord and Savior, Dylan Pollack. He's here with us right now. Drawing the star. Likewise to his loyal disciples, all the names. You're the absolute best. Never forget that. Of course, soon we'll be leaving the gloomy, dark deco streets of Gotham City for the brief Kirby-esque otherworldliness of Krypton, the simplicity of Smallville, and the bright, optimistic, ocean liner deco skyscrapers of Metropolis. The DCAU...
Super Smash Brothers?
Yeah, I don't know why, but we're doing it.
It's Kirby's theme in Smash.
Oh, it's Kirby. I see what you're saying. It took you that long to remember what it sounded like. The DCAU's Man of Tomorrow awaits you, Brian. I, for one, can't wait to watch for you to meet him. But obviously, there's one more btas story left, and without giving it away, it kind of brings things full circle. But that's for Bri to figure out.
Wait, isn't there two left?
Smoke bomb. No, we just watched the penultimate episode.
Oh, that was to. Oh, I thought it was two. Oh no!
We got one more, baby.
Oh!
Don't worry about it. Anyway, last is Lanola Cola. It's been 2 weeks since we heard from Bames and Dryan, but I'm glad the boys are back on the Bat-Wagon, and I can't wait for the next episode. Maybe the bullet for Bullock is meant for the Hydra on his back. That's a good way to close it out.
That's a great way to close it out.
And I accidentally closed out of the document that tells me what to say next.
You don't have it memorized after 80-something episodes?
I'll just keep hitting these while I figure it out.
We can have Dylan improv and just tell us a story.
Improv. Okay, I need a place, I need a location, and I need a name.
Jersey, that is a location, and Dylan Pollack.
Okay, so from the Jug Handles of New Jersey, if you want to listen to this podcast, you can do it on all the podcast places. It's there. I don't know. I'm not even good at any of my own podcast, Movies to Watch Before You Die. But I'm just saying, you can also send an email to batwagonpod@gmail.com. Nailed that. Yeah, you know, there's a good podcast, and you're about to hear a sound clip from the episode, a thing that people like. Go ahead. End it. Please put me out of my misery. Jesus, end this.
Brian, there's one more episode of Batman the Animated Series. And there's been something that you've been trying to guess the entire show. And I just...
Batman's origin story.
It's not. That's not what it is, actually, no. See, it doesn't exist. The episode, I'm going to tell you the title. You try to guess what it's about, okay? It's called The Lion and the Unicorn.
Well, I'm going to throw down my Uno reverse card and ask you
what I think happens in the episode.
Yes.
Well, I just have no idea. I couldn't possibly tell
Can you give what's it called? A lion and the white lion witch in the wardrobe?
Yeah, The Lion and the Unicorn, which Mark said kind of brings things full circle. He's right about that.
Okay, are we going to see Superman?
No. Who's someone that we saw in the first episode and haven't seen since?
No.
What?
No.
Who is it?
No.
Who is it, Brian?
We're not doing a Man-Bat episode.
No, Brian. The first airdate episode. You silly. What's the first episode we watched? And we have seen Man-Bat twice since then also, you asshole.
Oh,
yeah. When his wife turned into Man-Bat, and then he was also in Twiger for a second.
Yeah, that's fair. I do remember the Twiger. The first episode we did, you know, that was literally almost 90 episodes ago.
It was part one,
as we just discussed, is almost 2 years ago.
It was part one of a two-parter that I reference every single episode.
Cat in the Claw.
Yes.
So we're gonna see Batgirl,
son of a bitch,
and Man-Bat.
No, and the Riddler
and Poison Ivy.
Yeah, there you go.
And they're gonna fight the Penguin And Clayface is coming back.
That's been the show, everybody. Clayface will come back to die again a third time.
Oh my god. Okay, so we're getting a Red Claw?
Yeah, there you go. There you go, baby.
I almost said, my brain was just like Catwoman. I'm like, it's not Catwoman. I know it's not Catwoman.
Man, cat, red man bat.
The Lion and the Unicorn?
Yeah.
You know, my brain goes immediately to like modern interpretation of the term unicorn, and I don't think that's what it's about.
Well, we could try to read into it, but I don't think so. No.
I don't know what that means.
Dylan,
let me give you the official synopsis.
Innocent soul. Official, the Urban Dictionary definition of unicorn.
Mm-hmm.
Do I want this?
A common swinging term used in the community to refer to a single female interested in meeting other couples, described as such due to the rarity of finding said females. That wasn't as gross and cool as I thought it would be.
Also, does it have to be female?
So that's the thing I was thinking was I don't think so.
Like a monogamous person and a non like
any
who joins
all
up
of
with
the above. Yeah,
with like a non-monogamous couple, and like they aren't like poly except for with that couple, and the other couple can be whatever, but just like it's that one triangle where like, oh, we've got this unicorn with the pair of us.
And a lion is someone who is very forward sexually and is probably the more dominant in the relationship.
Okay, so the lion brings the unicorn into the relationship.
Yeah, it's Batman and Red Claw fucking.
Maybe there's a cock involved.
And poor Summer Gleason's got to be reporting on it.
Yeah, without Jack Ryder, damn. Yeah.
Oh my god.
Alrighty, I think that's it for this episode. Thank you for being here, Dylan. We like you. We appreciate you.
Thank you for having me, and I'll be back sooner than you think.
You actually will be, yeah.
Oh, that's awesome. I was gonna say it's too far in between the episodes, and we had like a good 6 months of like running gags of like, oh, you know, that best episode with Dylan, blah 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 blah.
Yeah.
Like it's good to have you back, and I hope we can get you
because we
back,
were always joking about that. We didn't believe what we were saying. Yeah.
I got to fill out that top 10.
Yeah, baby.
Yeah. Well, in the next episode, Dylan is also like a really loopholey way to bring him on for the Christmas episodes or whatever.
I'm okay with it. I'm also okay if we happen to do a podcast on Christmas. We need to bring Dylan in anyway.
I'm Jewish. It's fine.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Well, if you want to hear more discussion about this episode, check out the DCAU Review and Tim Talk podcast while Dylan draws the star upside down, summons the demon
That
Etrigan.
was way cooler.
Yeah, it really was what Brian did and that nobody could see. Thank you to Kimmy, Cooney, Phoenix, Viltsu. Definitely Viltsu this time for that wonderful remix. And, of course, Brother Broderick for all of our musical themes. Please subscribe to the Watchtower Database YouTube channel for DC Animated Universe videos on a regular basis, and subscribe to the Podtower for all new DCAU podcasts every week. Leave us a like over there on today's episode to help spread us around the interwebs, and leave a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts or whatever the hell you're listening to this on. You may hear your review read on the show. I said it right.
You should just change that from you may hear review, just be like, we're gonna read it.
You'll hear it.
You'll hear your review on the show.
You'll damn well hear your review on the show.
We're gonna sing. We're gonna put on a karaoke track of your choosing.
If you send in a
we're
review,
sing
Brian will play guitar while I sing your review.
We're going to grab you by the jug handles and whisper it in your ear.
I like the idea. Maybe we can entice people more to rate the podcast by saying, you rate it, and you get to choose the karaoke song that James will read your podcast review in the style of.
And hopefully it's a song I know, but it'll be worse if it's not. New episodes of the podcast are released every Friday on the Podtower, as well as your favorite podcast feed, watchtowerdatabase.com. I'm done now.
Sick. I still have that video on my phone of you singing, I don't know the name of that song, and the
Haley Steinfeld song, but Dr. Teeth instead. Is that it? I've sung that. It's come on the radio a couple times, and I sing it as Dr. Teeth every time.
What the fuck is Dr. Teeth?
From the Muppets?
Oh my God, Dylan!
Dr. Teeth
get the
and
fuck
the Electric Mayhem. Us.
You know him if you saw him. I'm sure he's got teeth.
I know.
He's got
does
teeth.
he?
He's got teeth.
I just
there.
remembered recently Timmy the Tooth. Does anybody know what I'm talking about there?
Yeah, I know the name. Why do I know?
He's horrifying to look at.
What is it?
Oh, Jesus. Yes. Fuck.
It's a very good puppet that is very scary.
Brian's going to
Timmy. Oh, he looks like an evil marshmallow. What is his...
All right, goodbye, everybody. We're ending the podcast now.
Oh, we're still recording this?
Bye. We'll see you for the final Batman episode next week, everybody.
Thank you, listener. Thank you, Dylan.
By the way, we're watching the rest of the shows in case you're like, oh, it's over. It's not. It's far from over.
It'll never be over.
It'll never be over.
It'll never be over.
Bye. Whoa, we actually stopped talking. Weird.
Nivens? Why wouldn't you move? Why wouldn't you get out? You and your late hours and your filthy habits. Do you have any idea what your apartment's worth these days?
You wanted my apartment? You mean all this was about rent control?
No. I wanted you gone. You're not a tenant, you're a pestilence. You insult me, you treat me like dirt. No jury in the world would have convicted me. They wouldn't have convicted me.
Somebody like Vinny wants a pot me, that's no surprise. But this... You know, it's funny. I was thinking of moving anyway. Neighborhood's really been going downhill lately. Look, I guess I owe you for this.
Forget it, Bullock. You've got enough problems.
So stupid.